Before giant tractors ruled American farms, horses powered the nation. This farmer is plowing his field the hard way, one row at a time. Every harvest depended on long hours, strong animals, and relentless determination. It's a powerful reminder of how much effort went into putting food on America's tables. This touching scene captures a farming family at work. Notice the child standing nearby, learning the trade from an early age. On many farms, farming wasn't just a job, it was a way of life passed down through generations. Every family member played a role in survival. Stretching across the horizon, these freshly plowed fields represent the backbone of rural America. With horse-drawn equipment and endless determination, farmers transformed open land into productive farmland. Looking at this photo, it's easy to appreciate the grit and perseverance that built America's agricultural legacy. This rare image shows farm workers cutting and gathering hay by hand. Long before modern machinery, every task demanded physical labor and teamwork. Days were exhausting, but families relied on this hard work to feed livestock and prepare for the harsh months ahead. Here we see another glimpse of old-fashioned farming, where horses did the heavy lifting. Across America's countryside, scenes like this were common for generations. The pace was slower, but every acre of land represented countless hours of dedication, patience, and backbreaking labor. This photograph captures a major turning point in American farming history. Tractors began replacing horse teams, allowing farmers to work larger fields faster than ever before. It was the beginning of a new era, one that transformed agriculture and helped feed a rapidly growing nation. Parked beside a traditional barn, this early tractor symbolizes innovation arriving in rural America. For many farmers, machines like this changed everything. Tasks that once took days could now be completed in hours, reshaping farm life and boosting productivity across the country. This weathered farmhouse tells a story of resilience. Families living in homes like this often faced economic hardship, harsh weather, and endless work. Yet these small houses became symbols of perseverance, where generations worked together to build a better future. Harvest season was one of the busiest times of the year. Farmers and horse teams worked from sunrise to sunset, gathering crops before bad weather arrived. Every bundle represented months of effort, making harvest time both stressful and incredibly rewarding. This family portrait offers a rare look into everyday life on an American farm. Their clothing, expressions, and surroundings tell a story of hard work, community, and determination. Behind every successful farm stood families like this, whose sacrifices helped shape rural America. This corn harvest scene captures the heart of rural America. Before massive automated machines took over, harvest season brought entire communities together. Farmers worked long days in the fields, racing against time and weather. Every ear of corn represented months of effort, sacrifice, and hope for a successful year. At first glance, this looks like simple fieldwork, but it tells a bigger story. These women are helping cultivate the land by hand, a reminder that agriculture depended on teamwork. Long before modern equipment, countless hours of physical labor kept farms running and communities fed. This farmer proudly stands beside his wagon while a young child rides nearby. It's a snapshot of family life in rural America, where children often grew up surrounded by farm work. The next generation learned responsibility early, helping carry on traditions that had lasted for decades. Stacked high with produce, this wagon represents a successful harvest. Reaching the market wasn't guaranteed. Farmers battled weather, pests, and difficult conditions all season long. Moments like this were worth celebrating because a good harvest often meant financial security and food for the community. This family portrait offers a glimpse into everyday life during a simpler era. Farm families depended on one another through good years and bad. Their modest surroundings reflect resilience, hard work, and the determination that helped build rural communities across America. These workers pause in the fields after hours of labor under the sun. Agriculture was physically demanding, and every bucket filled represented effort earned through sweat and perseverance. Images like this remind us of the people whose hard work kept America's farms a productive generation after generation. This powerful group portrait captures the faces behind America's agricultural success. Men, women, and children all contributed to farm life in different ways. Their serious expressions reflect a world where hard work wasn't optional. It was simply part of daily life and survival. Standing in front of their farmhouse, this family represents the American dream of land ownership and self-reliance. The horse-drawn carriage beside them highlights a time before automobiles became common. Together they tell the story of a nation built on family, farming, and determination. This rare photograph shows a farmer and child beside a wagon, creating a touching connection between work and family. Rural life wasn't separated into home and job, they were one and the same. Children grew up learning lessons about responsibility, resilience, and perseverance. Here we see a proud farming crew standing beside a loaded wagon and an early tractor. This image perfectly captures a period of transition when traditional farming methods met new technology. It was an era that changed American agriculture forever, increasing productivity and transforming life on the farm. This heartwarming photo shows children helping during harvest season, something that was common on family farms across America. Farm life taught responsibility at a young age, and every helping hand mattered. While today's childhood looks very different, these kids were learning lessons in hard work, teamwork, and perseverance from the very beginning. Imagine being deep in the American wilderness during the Civil War. Surrounded by towering trees and canvas tents, these soldiers paused for a rare moment of rest. Far from home and facing an uncertain future, they lived day by day, never knowing what tomorrow's battlefield might bring. This is what an American city looked like before modern traffic, smartphones, and skyscrapers took over. Early automobiles rolled down quiet streets while horse-drawn vehicles still shared the road. It was a time when America was rapidly transforming into the industrial powerhouse we know today. During the Great Depression, countless American families lost nearly everything. Many traveled the country searching for work, food, and a better future. This powerful image captures the strength and resilience of ordinary people who refused to give up, despite facing some of the hardest years in US history. Take a close look at these children. Their worn clothing and bare feet tell a story of hardship that many American families experienced during the Great Depression. Yet even in difficult times, childhood curiosity and hope remained. These faces remind us how resilience often begins at a young age. Long before theme parks and digital entertainment, simple attractions brought communities together. Families gathered to enjoy rides, laughter, and a break from daily routines. Moments like these offered a sense of joy and connection, creating memories that would last long after the ride came to a stop. This family portrait offers a glimpse into everyday American life more than a century ago. Sitting still for a photograph was a serious event, and every detail mattered. These images preserved family history, allowing future generations to see the faces, fashions, and traditions of another era. Before airplanes became the dominant form of travel, railroads connected America like never before. Steam engines carried passengers and goods across vast distances, fueling economic growth and expansion. The sound of a train whistle symbolized opportunity, adventure, and the unstoppable progress of a growing nation. Scenes like this were common as families moved in search of opportunity. Carrying their belongings and hopes for a better future, many Americans relocated to new towns and cities. These journeys helped shape communities across the country and reflected the determination that defined generations of settlers. This busy street captures the energy of America's industrial age. Factories, workers, and early automobiles filled growing cities as businesses expanded at an incredible pace. The crowds you see here were living through a period of rapid change that helped transform the United States into a global economic power. Coal miners worked in some of the toughest conditions imaginable. Spending long hours underground, they helped fuel America's factories, railroads, and industries. This photograph honors the workers whose labor powered the nation's growth, often at great personal risk and with little recognition for their sacrifices. Look closely at these steel workers high above the city streets. Long before modern safety equipment became standard, men risked their lives building America's iconic skyline. Every beam they placed helped shape the cities we know today. Their courage and skill literally built the nation's future from the ground up. This scene captures a growing American community during the early automobile era. Dirt roads, simple buildings, and curious crowds reveal a nation still expanding. Places like this represented opportunity and change, where families arrived hoping to build better lives and become part of America's unfolding story. This crowded city street was once the heartbeat of immigrant America. Small businesses, street vendors, and hard-working families filled neighborhoods with energy and culture. Every face in this photograph carried a unique story, contributing to the diverse communities that helped shape the American identity we know today. Before airplanes connected distant cities, railroads united the nation. This remarkable gathering celebrates a historic moment in railroad history, when workers and engineers linked regions together through steel tracks. Their achievement transformed travel, commerce, and communication, helping turn America into a truly connected country. Step inside an American classroom from a different era. Wooden desks, natural light, and strict discipline defined daily school life. Students learned reading, writing, and arithmetic in a world without computers or smartphones. Education looked very different, but it remained the foundation for future generations. This quiet street offers a glimpse into small-town America decades ago. Life moved at a slower pace, and communities were closely connected. Horse-drawn wagons still appeared in some places, while automobiles slowly took over. Scenes like this remind us how dramatically everyday American life has changed. Welcome to a classic American lunch counter. For just a few cents, customers could enjoy coffee, sandwiches, and homemade meals. These diners became gathering places where neighbors shared conversations, local news, and daily routines. It was simple, affordable, and an important part of community life. Long before social media and smartphones, friends gathered at the beach to enjoy sunshine and good company. This photo captures the carefree spirit of a generation embracing leisure and recreation. Moments like these reflect a growing middle class and the rise of modern American vacation culture. During World War II, American women stepped into jobs traditionally held by men, helping keep industries running. Their work supported the war effort and changed perceptions about women in the workforce. Images like this represent determination, skill, and a major shift in American society. This outdoor gathering shows families enjoying a peaceful day together in nature. Picnics were a popular way to escape busy city life and spend time with loved ones. These simple moments created lasting memories and reflected the strong family traditions that shaped generations of Americans. These two police officers pose proudly beside an early automobile, offering a glimpse into law enforcement during America's growing motor age. As cities expanded and new technologies appeared, police departments adapted to changing times, helping maintain order in rapidly developing communities. General stores like this were once the center of small-town life. Residents visited not only to buy food and supplies, but also to exchange news and catch up with neighbors. Before supermarkets and online shopping, places like this connected entire communities. These young cowboys represent the spirit of the American West. Ranching played a major role in shaping Western states, and many young men spent their days riding horses, herding cattle, and working long hours under challenging conditions. Family road trips became a symbol of freedom and adventure in post-war America. As highways expanded and automobile ownership increased, millions of families packed their cars and explored the country, creating memories that defined an era. Rows of closely built homes reflect the growth of American cities during periods of industrial expansion. These neighborhoods housed working families who helped fuel the nation's factories, railroads, and businesses, contributing to America's rise as an economic powerhouse. Baseball has long been known as America's pastime. This action-packed moment captures the excitement of the game in an earlier era, when local teams and community ballparks brought people together for competition, entertainment, and hometown pride. For children of the past, Christmas was filled with wonder and imagination. Handmade decorations, cherished toys, and family traditions made the holiday season special. Photographs like this preserve the excitement that generations of children experienced each December. This busy market street showcases the energy of immigrant neighborhoods that helped build American cities. Vendors, shoppers, horse-drawn wagons, and crowded storefronts created vibrant communities where cultures blended and opportunities grew. Gas stations became important landmarks during America's automobile boom. Travelers relied on attendants not only for fuel, but also for directions, mechanical advice, and local information. The rise of roadside businesses transformed the way Americans traveled. Deep in America's forests, logging communities worked to supply the lumber needed for homes, railroads, and growing cities. Life in these camps was demanding, but the workers played a crucial role in building the nation's infrastructure and economy. This snow-covered city street captures the hustle of urban America before modern traffic. Horse-drawn wagons carried goods through crowded markets while workers, merchants, and shoppers filled the streets. Scenes like this show how cities functioned before trucks became dominant. Early motorbuses helped transform public transportation. These vehicles allowed more people to travel efficiently between neighborhoods, schools, and workplaces, marking an important step in America's transportation revolution. Newsboys were once a common sight on American streets. Many young boys earned money by selling newspapers, shouting the day's headlines to passing pedestrians. They played an important role in spreading information before radio and television became widespread. Movie theaters became gathering places for communities across America. During the golden age of cinema, families and friends packed auditoriums like this one to enjoy newsreels, comedies, dramas, and the latest Hollywood productions. Barbershops were more than places for haircuts. They often served as neighborhood meeting spots where people exchanged stories, discussed local events, and built friendships. Many communities considered the local barber an important part of daily life. Telephone switchboard operators connected calls manually, long before automated systems existed. These workers, many of them women, played a crucial role in communication by linking callers across towns, states, and sometimes even the entire country. Fresh produce markets brought farmers and city residents together. Customers could purchase seasonal fruits and vegetables directly from vendors, creating lively public spaces that reflected local agriculture and community life. Busy commercial streets like this represented the heart of urban business districts. Stores, restaurants, hotels, and transportation services lined the sidewalks, serving thousands of residents and visitors every day. Railroads helped connect distant parts of America. Construction crews and railroad workers endured difficult conditions while building tracks through mountains, forests, and valleys, opening new opportunities for trade, travel, and settlement. Many immigrants arrived in America carrying only a few belongings and hopes for a better future. Ports and docks welcomed people from around the world who came seeking opportunity, helping shape the nation's diverse culture and identity. This neighborhood grocery store reflects a time when local shopkeepers knew many of their customers by name. Before large supermarket chains became common, families often bought food, household goods, and daily necessities from small community stores like this one. Farm children frequently helped with daily chores. Caring for livestock, driving carts, and assisting with harvests taught responsibility from a young age and played an important role in rural family life. Bustling immigrant neighborhoods helped shape America's cities. Streets like this were filled with small businesses, restaurants, markets, and cultural traditions brought by newcomers from around the world. Simple farmhouses and barns formed the backbone of rural America. These family homesteads provided shelter, food production, and a way of life centered on hard work and self-sufficiency. Large infrastructure projects transformed transportation and commerce. Bridges connected communities, shortened travel times, and helped fuel economic growth across the country. Factories and workshops created employment opportunities for thousands of workers. Many women entered the workforce in growing numbers, contributing to industries ranging from textiles to packaging and manufacturing. Early fire departments were vital to community safety. Firefighters often became respected local heroes, protecting homes, businesses, and lives during emergencies. This illustration shows settlers traveling westward during America's period of expansion. Wagon trains carried families across vast distances as they searched for land, opportunity, and a new beginning. Community celebrations often featured creative costumes, parades, and social gatherings. Such events brought neighbors together and provided entertainment during an era before television and digital media. A dramatic city fire sends smoke high above the skyline as residents gather to watch. Fires were among the greatest dangers in growing urban centers, often leading to improved building codes and stronger firefighting systems. Imagine walking into a hospital ward packed wall to wall with patients. This haunting image captures the reality of a major medical crisis, where overcrowding pushed hospitals beyond their limits. Every bed tells a story of fear, survival, and resilience during one of America's most challenging public health emergencies. The war was finally over. Packed onto this ship, thousands of American servicemen celebrate their long-awaited journey home. After years of danger and sacrifice, these smiling faces represent relief, victory, and the hope of reuniting with loved ones waiting across the ocean. On a busy city street, three young musicians perform beside a classic American car. Their simple instruments and determined expressions reflect an era when talent and hard work often meant everything. For many families, street performances helped put food on the table. This peaceful farm scene shows a side of America often forgotten. Long before massive industrial agriculture, small family farms dotted the countryside. These grazing cows represent a slower pace of life, where communities relied heavily on local farms for milk, food, and income. This is the iconic Brooklyn Bridge in its early years. Notice the elegant clothing and quiet walkway. At the time, crossing this bridge was more than transportation. It was a symbol of American innovation, connecting communities and proving that seemingly impossible engineering dreams could become reality. At first glance, this looks like an ordinary group portrait, but the unusual expressions and eerie atmosphere make it feel unsettling today. Early photography required people to remain perfectly still for long exposures, often creating images that appear strangely haunting to modern viewers. Before modern delivery trucks and highways, crowded market streets like this kept America moving. Horse-drawn wagons, merchants and workers filled these bustling neighborhoods. Every crate, barrel, and package helped fuel the rapid growth of American cities during the early 20th century. Step inside a neighborhood bakery from more than a century ago. Fresh bread, pastries, and friendly faces greeted customers daily. Small family-owned businesses like this formed the heart of many communities, serving generations long before supermarkets transformed the American shopping experience. This small rural schoolhouse tells a powerful story about education in early America. Children from different backgrounds often learned together in a single classroom. Despite limited resources, these schools helped shape future generations and opened doors to opportunities that once seemed unreachable. Covered wagons crossing rugged landscapes became symbols of the American frontier. Families traveled hundreds of miles through harsh conditions, searching for land, opportunity, and a better future. Every journey carried uncertainty, but also the dream of building a new life in the West. Welcome to the golden age of the American road trip. Motels like this popped up across the country as families explored the nation by car. Bright signs, classic automobiles, and affordable rooms became symbols of freedom, adventure, and the growing car culture of 1950s America. This weathered vessel tells a story of hard work on America's waterways. Long before modern cargo systems, crews relied on skill, strength, and determination to move goods across rivers and coasts. Every rope, plank, and tool reflects the demanding life of maritime workers. Before smartphones and instant messaging, this was the heart of global communication. Telephone operators manually connected calls by plugging cables into switchboards. A single conversation between cities, or even continents, often depended on the speed and precision of these highly trained workers. Travel in the early 20th century looked very different. Horse-drawn carriages carried visitors through scenic landscapes, offering a slower and more personal way to explore America. What feels ordinary today was once a memorable adventure that connected people with nature and history. These men helped keep steam-powered America running. Whether working on railroads, ferries, or industrial operations, Crews like this performed demanding jobs that fueled the nation's growth. Their uniforms and weathered faces reflect years of labor during a rapidly changing era. This bustling fairground was more than entertainment. It was a community gathering place. Families came to enjoy attractions, discover new inventions, and connect with neighbors. Events like these brought excitement to small towns and showcased the optimism of a growing America. Hidden among the hills, this mining settlement reveals the harsh reality behind America's industrial expansion. Workers lived and labored in remote communities, extracting the resources that powered factories and railroads. Life was difficult, but these towns played a major role in shaping the nation. This dramatic image captures the terrifying power of the Dust Bowl. Massive walls of dust swept across communities during the 1930s, destroying farmland and forcing families to leave their homes. It remains one of the most devastating environmental disasters in American history. Step inside a classic American soda fountain, where friends gathered for ice cream, soft drinks, and conversation. Long before fast food chains dominated the landscape, places like this served as social hubs, bringing together people from all walks of life in a warm community setting. At first glance, this family portrait seems ordinary, but early cameras required long exposure times, causing people to stand perfectly still. Combined with aged photographs and fading details, images like this often appear mysterious, offering a fascinating glimpse into everyday American life long ago. This powerful group portrait shows industrial workers standing proudly beside massive machinery. During America's rapid industrial expansion, workers like these built factories, railroads, ships, and infrastructure that transformed the nation into an economic powerhouse. A grand downtown building like this symbolized prosperity and ambition in early 20th century America. These towering structures housed luxury stores, offices, and hotels, becoming landmarks that reflected the growing wealth and confidence of American cities. Before buses and modern transit systems took over, electric streetcars connected neighborhoods and downtown districts. They were affordable, reliable, and helped shape the growth of American cities by allowing people to travel farther from where they worked. This photograph captures a group of young newsboys eagerly reading the latest headlines. Many children in large cities earned money by selling newspapers on busy streets. Their work provided valuable income for families, but often involved long hours and difficult conditions. An amusement park like this represented the excitement of a new century. Families came to enjoy rides, games, music, and dazzling electric lights. For many visitors, these parks offered a magical escape from everyday life. This small town street offers a glimpse into daily American life more than a century ago. Local businesses lined the roads, and residents often walked between shops, theaters, and offices, creating the close-knit atmosphere that defined many communities. This incredible scene shows thousands of logs floating together during the height of the logging era. Lumber was one of America's most important industries, supplying wood for homes, railroads, factories, and rapidly growing cities across the country. Life on the frontier was rarely easy. Families living in simple wooden homes faced harsh weather, limited resources, and isolation. Yet their determination helped establish communities that would eventually grow into towns and cities. Fashion changed dramatically during the 1920s and 1930s. The stylish clothing, hats, and confident expressions in this portrait reflect a period when modern culture, consumerism, and new social trends were reshaping American society. Before motorized delivery trucks became common, horse-drawn wagons handled much of the transportation within towns and cities. They delivered food, supplies, and goods, serving as an essential part of everyday commerce in early America. This photograph appears to show a community gathering, likely in a church or meeting hall. The elderly woman reading from a book may be leading a service, lesson, or community event. Such gatherings were important centers of faith, education, and social life, especially in rural America. A traditional barbershop was once much more than a place for haircuts. Men gathered here to exchange news, discuss politics, and socialize. In many towns, the local barbershop served as an informal community hub. This image captures a worker overseeing cotton as it moves through processing machinery. cotton played a major role in the Southern economy for generations, providing jobs while fueling America's textile industry. A family gathered on a porch, sharing a book together. Before television and the internet, reading was one of the most popular forms of entertainment and education, bringing families together during quiet evenings. This bustling city scene highlights urban America during the early 20th century. Streetcars, pedestrians, and growing commercial buildings illustrate how rapidly American cities expanded during this era of economic development. A group of boys is intensely focused on a game being played on the sidewalk. Simple games and street activities provided endless entertainment for children long before video games and smartphones existed. Horse-drawn transportation remained common in many rural communities even after automobiles became popular. Wagons like this were essential for delivering goods, transporting families, and handling farm work. These dock workers posed proudly on a ship or waterfront worksite. America's ports were critical to trade and industry, and laborers like these helped move enormous quantities of cargo across the nation and around the world. This striking image shows a lighthouse keeper or naval worker inspecting the powerful lens mechanism inside a lighthouse. These lights guided ships safely through dangerous waters and were essential for maritime navigation. A group of neighborhood children smiles and waves for the camera. Photographs like this offer a rare glimpse into everyday childhood, showing how young Americans played, socialized, and grew up in their local communities decades ago. This image shows a box of sweets inspired by the history of candy in America. It highlights how sugar, chocolate, and confectionery products evolved from luxury treats into everyday snacks enjoyed by millions. A massive crowd gathers at a busy train station, likely for an important arrival, departure, or public event. Railroads were the lifeline of America, connecting cities and transforming travel, trade, and communication. An early amusement park attraction called the Jack Rabbit Ride welcomes visitors. Roller coasters and amusement parks became popular family entertainment in the early 20th century, offering excitement and escape from daily life. This nighttime drive-in theater scene captures a uniquely American tradition. Families and couples watched movies from their cars, making drive-ins a cultural icon of the 1950s and 1960s. Farm workers harvest crops across a vast agricultural field. Agriculture formed the backbone of many American communities, and harvest season often involved the entire family working together. A harbor crowded with fishing boats and working vessels reflects the importance of maritime industries. Fishing communities supplied food, supported local economies, and helped build coastal cities. These uniformed men appear to be transportation or railway employees posing for a group photograph. Such workers played a crucial role in keeping passengers, mail, and goods moving across the country. A quiet street lined with iron balconies and historic architecture, likely in an older southern city. Streets like these preserve a glimpse of America's architectural heritage and daily life from another era. This artwork depicts a cattle drive in the American West. Cowboys guided large herds across long distances, helping shape the image of the frontier that became a lasting symbol of American history. Passengers enjoy a meal aboard a luxury train dining car. Rail travel once offered an elegant experience, with fine dining, attentive service, and comfortable accommodations for long journeys across the nation. This illustration depicts a large public reading room or library from the late 19th or early 20th century. Such institutions became important centers of education, giving ordinary Americans access to books, newspapers, and knowledge. A city sanitation worker sweeps the street while a horse-drawn garbage wagon collects waste. Before modern sanitation systems, workers like these helped keep rapidly growing cities clean and healthy. A group of children proudly displays baskets filled with fruits and vegetables. The image reflects community harvest traditions and the important role children often played in rural family life. Residents gather outside a local business while a woman carries newspapers. In the early 1900s, newspapers were the primary source of information, connecting communities to national and world events. This frontier town street captures the appearance of many Western settlements during America's expansion era. Dirt roads, wooden storefronts, and horse-drawn transportation were common sights. A festive parade moves through a decorated street lined with flags and spectators. Community celebrations, holidays, and civic events brought towns together and strengthened local identity. People walk through a residential neighborhood of modest homes. Images like this provide a glimpse into everyday urban life and how communities developed during periods of rapid population growth. An enormous crowd fills city streets, surrounding streetcars and vehicles. Such gatherings often marked major public events, political celebrations, parades, or significant moments in local history. A small waterfront gift shop stands along a historic wharf. Coastal trading centers and harbors have long been important hubs for commerce, tourism, and maritime culture. An early automobile is parked outside a large home while several people pose beside it. At the beginning of the automobile age, owning a car was often considered a symbol of wealth, progress, and modern living. This dramatic image shows construction workers high above the city on a massive steel structure, likely during the early skyscraper boom. These workers helped transform American skylines, often laboring at dangerous heights with minimal safety equipment. A street vendor stands beside a hand-pulled cart in a quiet town. Before supermarkets and modern delivery systems, vendors like these sold food, drinks, and household goods directly to local residents, playing an important role in daily community life. Dust fills the air as ranchers wrestle a steer on a hard-working American farm. Long before modern equipment, cattle handling demanded strength, skill, and teamwork. Moments like this were a regular part of rural life, where every day brought new challenges and every hand on the ranch mattered.
A lot of time and effort goes into creating videos like this, so if you're enjoying the content, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Imagine building an entire barn without cranes or power tools. These workers balanced high above the ground, creating the backbone of a growing farm. Their craftsmanship and courage helped shape rural America, one timber at a time, leaving behind structures that often stood for generations. This rare family portrait tells a story of resilience. Standing outside their log home, these Americans faced tough conditions, but built lives through determination and hard work. Every weathered face reflects the sacrifices made to create opportunities for future generations in a rapidly changing nation. Before tractors became common, horses powered America's farms. Here, a farmer carefully guides his team across freshly turned soil. It was slow, demanding work, but it fed communities and built livelihoods. Every furrow represented hope for a successful harvest and a better year ahead. This remarkable scene captures the transition from traditional farming to modern agriculture. Machines began replacing manual labor, allowing farmers to work larger fields more efficiently. Against the dramatic mountain backdrop, this photo showcases the innovation that transformed American farming and increased food production nationwide. Harvest season often brought entire communities together. Men, women, horses, and wagons worked side by side to gather crops before weather could ruin them. These moments weren't just about farming. They strengthened bonds between neighbors and highlighted the teamwork that rural life depended on. This heartwarming image captures more than a harvest. It captures family tradition. Older generations passed down knowledge, values, and farming skills to the young. Through hard work and shared experiences, these families preserved a way of life that helped define rural America for decades. This family portrait offers a glimpse into everyday life during a challenging era. Despite limited resources and difficult conditions, families stayed united and persevered. Their determination laid the foundation for future generations, proving that strength often comes not from wealth, but from resilience. This incredible machine was considered cutting-edge technology in its day. Surrounded by horses and workers, it helped farmers harvest crops faster than ever before. Innovations like this changed agriculture forever, increasing productivity and helping America become one of the world's leading food producers. After long days in the fields, farmers took a moment to rest and connect. These men represent the hard-working spirit that built rural America. Behind every harvest was dedication, sacrifice, and countless hours of labor that often went unseen, but kept the nation fed and growing. Before engines ruled the fields, farmers relied on powerful horses like these. Every acre had to be plowed slowly, one row at a time. It was exhausting work, but this partnership between man and horse helped feed a growing nation and laid the foundation of American agriculture. This simple porch scene captures the heart of rural America. While the father worked long hours, family remained the reason behind every sacrifice. These small wooden homes weren't just shelters. They were places where dreams, struggles, and future generations were built together. This family stands proudly in front of their harvest, a symbol of months of labor and perseverance. Life wasn't easy, and success was never guaranteed. Yet families like this helped shape America through determination, proving that resilience often mattered more than wealth or comfort. Loaded with freshly gathered hay, this wagon represents one of the busiest times of the year. Every bundle stored meant livestock could survive the winter. Harvest season demanded teamwork, endurance, and long days in the field, with little time to rest. Across the vast American plains, ranchers spent countless hours watching over their cattle. These wide-open landscapes offered freedom, but also challenges from weather, predators, and distance. The cowboy lifestyle became one of the most recognizable symbols of the American frontier and rural heritage. This rare image shows everyday life on a family farm. A child sits in the foreground while adults work nearby, reminding us that farming was a family effort. From caring for animals to maintaining crops, everyone contributed to keeping the homestead running. Long before modern machinery, harvesting grapes required patience and countless hours of manual labor. These workers moved row by row, carefully gathering the crop by hand. Their efforts helped build the early American wine industry and supported communities that depended on agriculture for survival. Standing atop enormous piles of hay, these workers faced demanding physical labor every day. Under the hot sun, they stacked and stored feed for the seasons ahead. Every forkful represented preparation, ensuring animals would have enough food when winter finally arrived. This remarkable family portrait tells the story of settlement and survival. Living far from cities, pioneer families depended on one another for nearly everything. Through harsh weather, isolation, and hard work, they built communities that would eventually become towns and thriving regions. This fascinating machine represents a turning point in agricultural history. Combining human labor, horsepower, and mechanical innovation, it allowed farmers to harvest crops more efficiently than ever before. Technology like this helped transform American farming from small-scale survival into large-scale production. This incredible machine represents a time when agriculture stood between two worlds: horsepower and industrial innovation. Teams of horses pulled massive harvesting equipment across endless fields, helping farmers gather crops faster than ever before. It was technology like this that transformed American farming and changed rural life forever. Spread across the landscape are cattle, horses, and the people who cared for them every day. The windmill in the background was a lifeline, providing water in remote areas. Scenes like this capture the rugged independence that defined ranch life across America's vast frontier. Take a look at this bustling city street from long ago. Before cars dominated the roads, crowded markets like this were the heartbeat of urban America. Horse-drawn wagons, street vendors, and busy shoppers filled every corner, creating a lively scene that captures the energy of everyday life in the early 1900s. This fascinating image shows the famous Chicago stockyards, once one of the busiest livestock centers in America. Thousands of cattle passed through these pens every day, helping feed a rapidly growing nation. It's a powerful reminder of how agriculture and industry work together to build modern America. Here's a glimpse of Atlantic City during its golden age. Elegant hotels, wooden boardwalks, and well-dressed visitors made this one of America's most popular vacation destinations. Long before theme parks and luxury resorts, families came here to enjoy the ocean breeze and a taste of excitement. This rare group portrait captures Native American students dressed in formal Western-style clothing. Photos like this reflect a complex period in American history when government-run boarding schools attempted to reshape indigenous cultures. Behind every face is a story of identity, resilience, and a changing nation. This factory scene highlights the important role women played in America's industrial workforce. Long before modern workplaces, many women spent hours operating machinery and producing goods that fueled economic growth. Their hard work helped transform industries and opened new opportunities for future generations. Before airplanes became common, America's mail often traveled by rail. This railway post office car allowed workers to sort letters while the train was moving. It was a remarkable innovation that helped connect distant communities and speed up communication across the country. Step inside this grand hotel corridor from a bygone era. The elegant architecture, glowing chandeliers, and polished interiors reflected the luxury enjoyed by wealthy travelers. Places like this symbolized America's growing prosperity and the rise of tourism during the early 20th century. This charming, old-fashioned candy store feels like a trip back in time. Shelves packed with sweets, glass jars, and handmade treats created a magical experience for customers. Long before supermarkets and online shopping, neighborhood stores like this were at the center of community life. This photo shows a group of streetcar operators standing proudly beside their trolley. Public transportation like this helped shape American cities, allowing people to travel farther for work and leisure. These workers played a key role in keeping urban life moving every single day. This skilled blacksmith is shaping hot metal, using techniques passed down through generations. Before mass production took over, craftsmen like him created tools, hardware, and essential equipment by hand. His work represents the dedication and craftsmanship that helped build communities across early America. This crowded beach scene proves that Americans have always loved a day by the ocean. Dressed in long dresses, suits, and hats, families gathered to relax by the shore. It's hard to imagine wearing those clothes to the beach today, but this was summer fun over a century ago. Take a look at the incredible risks early utility workers faced. Suspended high above the ground, these linemen repaired power and telephone lines with limited safety equipment. Their dangerous work helped bring electricity and communication to growing communities across America, connecting millions of people for the first time. This bustling town square captures everyday life in a close-knit community. Markets like these were the center of social and economic activity, where families shopped, traded goods, and shared news. Every person in this photograph played a small role in keeping their town alive and thriving. Here we see a large group of workers gathered outside a rural industrial site. Whether logging, mining, or manufacturing, these men helped fuel America's rapid expansion. Their labor built railroads, towns, and industries that transformed the nation into a global economic powerhouse. This remarkable image shows one of America's early oil boom regions. Towering drilling rigs stretch across the landscape, representing the energy revolution that reshaped the country. The discovery of oil created fortunes, fueled industry, and forever changed the way Americans lived and traveled. Long before luxury RVs and modern campgrounds, families enjoyed simple outdoor adventures like this. With a canvas tent and an early automobile nearby, this family embraced the freedom of the open road. It's a nostalgic glimpse into the beginnings of American road trip culture. This dramatic snowstorm scene shows city life continuing despite harsh winter weather. Pedestrians battled strong winds and heavy snowfall while making their way through crowded streets. Moments like this remind us of the resilience and determination that defined life in America's growing cities. This busy street market was a daily lifeline for many families. Fresh fruits and vegetables were sold directly from carts, bringing affordable food into crowded neighborhoods. Before large grocery chains became common, markets like this connected local farmers with city residents. This small-town drugstore was much more than a place to buy medicine. It served as a community gathering spot where neighbors exchanged news, met friends, and picked up everyday necessities. Businesses like this formed the heart of countless American towns. Look at the size of this crowd. Long before television broadcasts and social media, people packed stadiums and grandstands to witness major events in person. The excitement, anticipation, and shared experience created unforgettable memories that brought entire communities together. These women are taking a break during a busy factory shift, sharing a meal after hours of demanding work. During the industrial era, millions of American women entered the workforce, helping power factories and wartime production. Their dedication played a major role in shaping the modern American economy. This crowded riverboat scene captures a time when waterways were among America's busiest transportation routes. Before highways and commercial airlines dominated travel, steamboats carried passengers, goods, and mail across the country. For many Americans, these vessels were the lifeline connecting towns and cities. Look at the enormous crowd gathered around this grand courthouse. Public ceremonies, political speeches, and community celebrations often attracted thousands of people. In an era before television, major events brought entire towns together, creating unforgettable moments that strengthened local pride and civic identity. This proud family is showing off a successful day's catch, a reminder of how fishing once helped feed communities across America. In an era before supermarkets and modern convenience, catching large fish wasn't just recreation. It was often an important part of everyday life and survival. Long before giant theme parks dominated entertainment, traveling fairs brought excitement directly to small-town America. Ferris wheels, carousels, and carnival games transformed quiet fields into bustling centers of fun, giving families a rare chance to experience adventure and community celebration. This stunning view captures an American town nestled beneath towering mountains. Scenes like this helped define the West, where growing communities balanced industry, commerce, and frontier spirit. The dramatic landscape reminds us how geography shaped the lives and opportunities of early residents. These women appear to be factory workers, representing the labor force that helped power America's industrial growth. Their expressions tell a story of long hours, hard work, and resilience. Millions of workers like them helped build the products that fueled a rapidly changing nation. Before diesel trucks became common, horse-drawn wagons delivered essential goods across American towns. This coal wagon carried fuel that heated homes and powered businesses. It's a glimpse into a time when strong horses were just as important to transportation as engines are today. Street food isn't a modern invention. More than a century ago, hot dog vendors served quick, affordable meals to busy city residents. These bustling carts became a familiar sight on American streets, offering a taste of convenience long before fast food chains arrived. This massive brick structure reflects America's industrial era, when factories and warehouses dominated urban skylines. Buildings like this produced goods, created jobs, and fueled economic growth. Behind these walls, thousands of workers helped shape the nation's rise as an industrial powerhouse. At a time when cycling was becoming popular, women riding bicycles represented more than recreation. It symbolized greater independence and freedom. The bicycle revolution helped challenge social norms and gave many women a new sense of mobility in everyday life. These circus elephants were part of one of America's most famous traveling shows. For generations, circus parades amazed crowds and brought exotic animals to towns that had never seen them before. Today, such images also spark conversations about animal welfare and changing traditions. This city skyline showcases America during the height of industrial expansion. Steam rising from rooftops reveals a world powered by factories, coal, and relentless growth. It was an era of opportunity and innovation, but also one marked by pollution and demanding urban life. These children lived during a time when infectious diseases were among America's greatest fears. Before modern vaccines and advanced medicine, schools often became the front line in protecting public health. Images like this remind us how dramatically healthcare has transformed childhood in the United States. This behind-the-scenes moment captures the magic of early Hollywood filmmaking. Massive cameras, simple sets, and small crews created movies that captivated millions. Long before digital effects and streaming platforms, filmmakers relied on creativity and innovation to bring stories to life on the silver screen. This elegant dining hall shows how upscale restaurants once blended luxury with craftsmanship. Ornate decorations, polished counters, and carefully prepared meals reflected an era when dining out was a special event. Places like this offered customers a glimpse of sophistication and modern city life. Before smartphones and social media, Americans got their news from newspaper stands like this one. Every morning, people gathered to buy the latest headlines, sports scores, and world events. These kiosks served as information hubs, connecting communities to a rapidly changing world. This vintage fire truck and its crew represent the brave firefighters who protected growing American towns. Early firefighting demanded teamwork, courage, and quick action. Without modern equipment, these men relied on skill and determination to save lives and defend communities from devastating fires. Long before modern beach resorts, places like Sunny Cove Baths attracted families seeking fun and relaxation. Swimming became one of America's favorite leisure activities, offering an escape from daily routines. This scene captures a simpler era of summer recreation along the California coast. This busy lumber yard highlights an industry that helped build America. Timber from facilities like this supplied homes, businesses, railroads, and entire towns. In the days before heavy machinery dominated construction, workers and horse-drawn wagons played a critical role in shaping the nation. This crowded city market was the heartbeat of urban commerce. Vendors sold everything from food to household goods, while shoppers filled the streets. Before giant supermarkets and online shopping, markets like this were essential gathering places where business, culture, and community came together. This horse-drawn ambulance reminds us how far emergency medicine has advanced. In the early days of healthcare, transporting patients often depended on horses rather than engines. Even with limited technology, these services represented an important step toward the modern emergency response systems Americans rely on today. This courthouse stood as a symbol of law, order, and local government in early California. Buildings like this served as the center of civic life, where important decisions shaped communities. Its architecture reflects the ambition and growth of towns during America's westward expansion. This factory scene captures the heart of American manufacturing. Skilled workers carefully craft products by hand and machine, representing an era when factories fueled economic growth. Millions of Americans earned their livelihoods in places like this, helping transform the United States into an industrial powerhouse. These women are harvesting fruit by hand, a job that demanded patience, endurance, and long hours. Agriculture has always been a cornerstone of America's economy, and workers like these helped supply fresh produce to growing cities while keeping farms productive across the nation. Before home delivery apps and digital subscriptions, newspaper boys brought the day's headlines directly to Americans. Rain or shine, these young workers helped spread news throughout cities and towns. Their role was essential in keeping communities informed during a rapidly changing era. This breathtaking holiday display shows how department stores once transformed shopping into an unforgettable experience. Elaborate decorations, sparkling lights, and towering Christmas trees attracted families from across the city. For many Americans, visiting these displays became a cherished seasonal tradition, filled with wonder and excitement. Take a close look at these faces. Many of these boys were barely teenagers, yet they spent long days inside America's factories. In the early 1900s, child labor was common, and thousands of children traded classrooms for dangerous jobs. This powerful photo helped expose a reality many Americans never saw. Before Atlantic City became a modern tourist destination, it was already America's favorite summer escape. This crowded beach scene captures a time when families flocked to the shore by train, searching for sunshine, ocean breezes, and a break from everyday life. It was the American dream of vacation. This sketch takes us back to the American frontier, where survival depended on hard work and determination. Settlers built homes from logs, cleared land by hand, and created communities from scratch. Every board, every wall, and every road represented a step toward building a new nation. Standing proudly aboard a steamship, these men helped power America's age of transportation. Long before airplanes connected the country, steamships carried passengers and cargo across rivers and coastlines. Their work kept trade moving and linked distant communities during a rapidly changing era. This family portrait reveals the harsh reality of the Great Depression. millions of Americans struggled with poverty, unemployment, and uncertainty. Behind every statistic was a family like this one, doing everything possible to survive. Their resilience became one of the defining stories of American history. Imagine witnessing this moment. Two railroad crews finally meet, connecting tracks that stretched across the American West. The railroad transformed travel, trade, and migration, shrinking distances that once seemed impossible. This wasn't just a transportation project, it helped unite a growing nation. During World War II, American women stepped into roles once dominated by men. Here, women work on aircraft production, helping build the machines that supported the war effort. Their contributions changed perceptions of women in the workforce and reshaped American society for generations. This busy city street offers a glimpse into urban America nearly a century ago. Automobiles were becoming common, businesses lined the sidewalks, and cities were growing at an incredible pace. It's a snapshot of a nation embracing modernization while leaving the old world behind. Captured during the American Civil War era, this rare image shows soldiers moving through city streets as crowds gather to watch. The Civil War reshaped the United States forever, testing the nation's future and leaving scars that would influence generations of Americans. Racing across open land, this rider represents the spirit of the American frontier. In an era before modern communication, horseback messengers and riders connected distant settlements. Their courage and endurance helped open the West, creating legends that still inspire Americans today. Imagine waking up and finding your entire neighborhood gone. This heartbreaking scene shows the aftermath of a devastating American disaster. Homes were reduced to splinters in minutes, leaving families searching through rubble for anything they could save. It's a powerful reminder of how quickly nature can change lives forever. This rusty sign hides a piece of forgotten America. Behind it sits a classic Route 66-era vehicle, a symbol of road trips, freedom, and the open highway. For generations, Route 66 wasn't just a road. It was the path to new opportunities, adventures, and the American dream. Believe it or not, this is one of America's first traffic lights. Before modern intersections, traffic was controlled manually. An officer operated this signal by hand, helping manage the growing number of automobiles. It's a fascinating glimpse into a time when America was learning how to handle the automobile revolution. What you're seeing here was completely legal, until it wasn't. During Prohibition, authorities seized and destroyed massive amounts of alcohol across the United States. The ban was meant to reduce crime and improve society, but instead it fueled underground markets and created some of America's most notorious criminals. Look at this line, "Every person here is waiting for a chance to work." During the Great Depression, jobs became incredibly scarce. Thousands stood in lines like this for hours, hoping for employment. This image captures the desperation, uncertainty, and determination that defined one of America's toughest eras. This wasn't just a bar, it was the social center of the Old West. Saloons were where cowboys, miners, travelers, and businessmen gathered after long days. Deals were made, stories were shared, and legends were born. Places like this helped shape the culture of frontier America. Long before women's professional sports received national attention, these athletes were making history. This 1946 All-Star women's baseball team proved talent has no gender. While many male athletes were away during wartime, these women stepped onto the field and inspired future generations of American athletes. This is what a busy American city looked like before modern cars took over. Streetcars moved thousands of people every day, connecting neighborhoods and businesses. These electric trolleys helped build America's growing cities and transformed the way people lived, worked, and traveled. For millions of immigrants, this moment changed everything. After crossing oceans in search of a better life, families faced inspections before entering America. Some would begin entirely new lives, while others feared being turned away. This scene captures hope, anxiety, and the promise of a fresh start. At first glance, it looks like a giant storm cloud, but it's something even more terrifying. This is one of South Dakota's infamous black blizzards during the Dust Bowl era. Massive walls of dust swallowed towns, darkened the sky, and forced thousands of American families to abandon their homes and start over. Before skyscrapers and highways, America's cities looked very different. This bustling street scene captures an era when streetcars ruled the roads and horse-drawn vehicles still shared the streets. It was a time when American cities were rapidly transforming into the urban giants we know today. Would you sit here for lunch? These fearless workers are perched hundreds of feet above the city while constructing one of America's iconic skyscrapers. With no safety harnesses, they helped build the skyline that would become a symbol of American ambition and engineering. This powerful portrait tells a story words cannot. The image shows a Native American mother and child, representing generations of indigenous people whose cultures, traditions, and histories shaped the land long before the United States existed. This is what remained after one of America's worst urban disasters. The city was reduced to ashes and rubble, leaving thousands homeless. Yet from this devastation came one of the greatest rebuilding efforts in American history, proving the resilience of its people. Believe it or not, people once crossed this bridge on horseback. This remarkable scene shows a rider making their way across a suspension bridge during its early years. At the time, crossing such a massive structure was an unforgettable experience and a marvel of engineering. This wasn't a festival, it was a race for fortune. Thousands gathered in temporary camps during America's great land rushes and frontier expansions. People traveled enormous distances, hoping to claim land, start businesses, and build a better future. Hidden deep in the woods, this operation was completely illegal. During Prohibition, moonshiners secretly produced alcohol in remote locations to avoid federal agents. The underground liquor trade became one of the most famous chapters in American history. This fragile machine helped change the world forever. Early aviation pioneers risked their lives testing aircraft that looked primitive by modern standards. Their courage and innovation paved the way for the global air travel we take for granted today. These men weren't just building a monument, they were carving history into stone. Workers posed during the construction of the famous presidential sculpture that would become one of America's most recognizable landmarks. Their work transformed a mountain into a national icon. For many families, this train represented hope. Across America, trains connected distant communities, transported workers, and carried families toward new opportunities. Railroads helped unite the nation and fueled its growth for generations. This is how America's first subway riders traveled underground. Dressed in formal clothing and top hats, these passengers are taking part in an early subway demonstration. At the time, underground rail travel seemed like a glimpse into the future. Before luxury trains, rail travel looked like this. This beautifully decorated rail car represents the golden age of railroad expansion, when trains connected distant towns and helped transform the United States into a truly connected nation. These men were America's early sky warriors. Wearing heavy insulated flight suits, pioneering aviators faced freezing temperatures and dangerous conditions. Flying was still experimental, and every mission carried serious risks. This tiny settlement would soon become a boomtown. Remote frontier communities often began as a handful of buildings along rivers or trade routes. Some eventually grew into thriving cities that helped shape America's expansion westward. This was the internet before computers. Telephone switchboard operators manually connected calls by plugging wires into massive switchboards. Every long-distance conversation depended on their speed, skill, and accuracy. Hollywood magic wasn't always glamorous. Behind every silent movie was a crowded set filled with cameras, props, technicians, and actors. Early filmmakers often improvised special effects that amazed audiences of the time. A classroom from another century. Students sat quietly at wooden desks while lessons were written on blackboards. Education looked very different, but these classrooms helped prepare generations of Americans for a rapidly changing world. This town was built around a single industry. Coal mines powered America's factories, railroads, and homes. Entire communities depended on mining, and life often revolved around the demanding work underground. Welcome to America's neon age. Bright signs, classic cars, and glowing streets turned cities into vibrant nighttime destinations. This was the era when roadside culture, entertainment, and post-war prosperity reshaped American life. Imagine working hundreds of feet above the ocean with no modern safety gear. These workers helped build one of the most famous bridges in the world. Their courage and determination turned an ambitious dream into an engineering masterpiece. This photograph shows a small rowing boat carrying several people across calm waters near a lighthouse. Before modern engines became common, boats like this were essential for transportation, fishing, and communication in coastal communities. The lighthouse guided sailors safely through dangerous waters. The image captures a quieter era when life depended heavily on waterways and manual labor. This powerful image reveals the cramped living conditions experienced by many immigrant families in early American cities. Entire families often shared a single room filled with beds, personal belongings, and basic furniture. Such overcrowded housing was common in working-class neighborhoods. Despite difficult circumstances, these families worked hard, hoping to build a better future for their children. Tourists gather beside the breathtaking Niagara Falls, one of North America's most famous natural wonders. The women's elegant dresses and hats reflect early 20th century fashion. Long before smartphones and social media, people traveled great distances to witness natural spectacles in person. This image captures both the beauty of the falls and the growing popularity of tourism. Few people realize the Statue of Liberty was assembled in sections before reaching New York Harbor. This rare image shows part of the statue surrounded by scaffolding during construction. Created in France and gifted to the United States, the monument became a global symbol of freedom and opportunity. Seeing it unfinished reminds us of the enormous effort behind its creation. This faded photograph offers a glimpse of a quiet American street from more than a century ago. Horse-drawn vehicles, wide roads, and simple buildings dominated daily life. Telephone poles were beginning to appear, connecting communities through new technologies. Images like this help us understand how rapidly American cities evolved from small towns into modern urban centers. Standing proudly before a lighthouse, this family likely played a role in maintaining one of the most important safety systems of the era. Lighthouse keepers and their families often lived in isolation, ensuring ships could navigate safely through storms and darkness. Their dedication protected countless sailors. This image highlights both family life and maritime history. This remarkable photograph shows an early rooftop garden, proving urban gardening is not a modern idea. Residents transformed unused rooftop space into a thriving oasis filled with flowers and plants. Such gardens provided beauty, fresh air, and relaxation amid crowded city environments. The image demonstrates creativity and the desire to connect with nature, even in dense urban areas. This illustration depicts a steep mountain railway carrying passengers and cargo through rugged terrain. Building railroads across challenging landscapes was one of the greatest engineering achievements of the 19th century. These railways opened remote regions to settlement, trade, and tourism. What once seemed impossible became reality through determination, innovation, and thousands of workers' efforts. A young couple sits beside an early radio and phonograph system, symbols of a communications revolution. For the first time, families could listen to music, news, and entertainment from distant places without leaving home. Radio transformed daily life and helped create a shared national culture. This image captures the excitement surrounding groundbreaking technology. This energetic photograph features a jazz ensemble performing during the genre's golden age. Jazz emerged from African American communities and became one of America's most influential cultural contributions. The musicians' passion and talent helped shape modern music worldwide. Their performances brought people together, broke cultural barriers, and introduced exciting new sounds that continue to inspire artists today. This image shows children studying inside a simple one-room schoolhouse, a common sight in rural America during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. A large wood-burning stove heated the room during cold winters. One teacher often taught students of different ages simultaneously. Despite limited resources, these schools played a vital role in educating generations of American children. This extraordinary structure was a giant elephant-shaped building, one of America's most unusual roadside attractions. Constructed in the 19th century, it served as a tourist attraction and observation point. Such novelty architecture drew visitors before the age of television and theme parks. The building reflected America's growing fascination with entertainment, entrepreneurship, and eye-catching designs. Workers are seen manufacturing wagon wheels in an industrial workshop. Before automobiles dominated transportation, wagons were essential for moving goods and people. Skilled laborers carefully shaped and assembled each wheel for strength and durability. This image captures a period when American industry relied heavily on craftsmanship, helping support agriculture, trade, and westward expansion across the country. This photograph captures a man using an early public telephone. At the time, telephones were transforming communication by allowing people to speak across long distances almost instantly. Public phone booths became common in cities, businesses, and transportation hubs. What seems ordinary today was once revolutionary technology that changed commerce, relationships, and the pace of daily life. Several workers rest on the floor near a fenced area, likely during a labor dispute or strike. Throughout American industrial history, workers fought for better wages, safer conditions, and reasonable working hours. Strikes often involved long periods of waiting and uncertainty. This image reflects the human side of labor movements that helped shape modern workplace protections. This peaceful photograph features a traditional covered bridge surrounded by trees. Covered bridges protected wooden structures from rain and snow, extending their lifespan. During the 19th century, thousands of such bridges connected rural communities across America. Today, many have disappeared, making surviving examples treasured landmarks that represent the nation's agricultural and transportation heritage. Thousands of people fill a broad street during what appears to be a major public celebration, fair, or community event. Large gatherings like this brought people together for entertainment, commerce, and social interaction. Before television and the internet, public events were important cultural experiences. The photograph demonstrates the scale and excitement of communal life in America. This striking portrait shows a woman confidently seated on horseback with a dog beside her. During the 19th century, horseback riding was both practical transportation and a popular recreational activity. The image highlights independence, outdoor life, and the strong bond between humans and animals. Such portraits were often treasured family keepsakes, documenting personal achievements and status. A large group of uniformed officials poses outside an administrative building. Group photographs like this were often taken to commemorate important milestones, organizational achievements, or official ceremonies. Uniforms symbolized professionalism, authority, and public service. The image offers a glimpse into the structure of civic institutions and the individuals responsible for maintaining public order and safety. This dramatic photograph appears to show people gathered on the roof of a flooded home while a boat assists nearby. Floods have long threatened communities situated near rivers and low-lying areas. In such disasters, boats often became essential rescue tools. The image captures both the destructive power of nature and the resilience of families facing extraordinary circumstances. This powerful image appears to show young boys working in an industrial setting, likely a coal mine or similar workplace. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, child labor was common in many industries. Children often worked long hours under dangerous conditions for very little pay. Photographs like this helped expose labor abuses and inspired reforms protecting children. Several workers are perched high on a telegraph pole, demonstrating the construction and maintenance of early communication networks. Before widespread telephone and internet systems, telegraph lines connected towns and cities across America. Building these networks required courage and skill, as workers often operated at dangerous heights. Their efforts helped revolutionize communication and national connectivity. This photograph shows an enormous factory building, symbolizing America's rapid industrial growth during the early 20th century. Such factories employed thousands of workers and produced goods on a massive scale. Industrial centers transformed cities, created jobs, and fueled economic expansion. At the same time, they highlighted challenges involving labor conditions, urbanization, and environmental impacts. An elephant transports circus equipment while handlers walk nearby. Traveling circuses were a major form of entertainment before television became widespread. Elephants often helped move heavy loads and became popular attractions themselves. The image captures a unique period when circus companies traveled from town to town, bringing exotic animals, performers, and excitement to communities. Residents gather outside local businesses on what appears to be a busy small-town street. People read newspapers, socialize, and observe daily events. Before radio and television dominated entertainment, town centers served as important social hubs. This image offers a glimpse into community life, where information, business, and personal relationships were exchanged face-to-face. This striking view looks beneath an elevated railway running through a bustling urban neighborhood. Elevated trains helped solve transportation challenges in growing American cities by moving large numbers of people efficiently. The steel structure dominates the landscape, reflecting industrial engineering achievements. Horse-drawn vehicles and pedestrians below highlight a period of technological transition and modernization. A steam locomotive pulls loaded rail cars through a forested area. Logging railroads were essential to America's timber industry, transporting harvested wood from remote forests to mills and markets. Steam trains made large-scale lumber operations possible and supported construction across the nation. The photograph illustrates the close relationship between natural resources, transportation, and economic development. Passengers board a Pan American Airways flying boat, an innovative aircraft used before long-range airports became common. These aircraft landed on water and connected distant destinations across oceans. Air travel during this era was considered luxurious and adventurous. The image captures the excitement of early commercial aviation and the beginning of global air transportation. This scene shows a crowded newsroom filled with reporters, editors, and typists. Newspapers were the primary source of information for millions of Americans before television news emerged. Deadlines created a fast-paced environment where stories were researched, written, and edited quickly. The photograph reflects the energy and importance of journalism in shaping public understanding of events. This photograph overlooks a large seaside amusement pier, bustling with visitors. Such attractions combined entertainment, dining, shopping, and recreation in one location. Popular during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, they drew tourists seeking relaxation and excitement. The image highlights America's growing leisure culture and the importance of coastal resorts in public life. This unusual roadside cafe and gas station appears to be built in a whimsical desert style, designed to attract motorists traveling long highways. During the automobile boom of the 1930s and 1940s, businesses competed for attention with eye-catching architecture. Such stops provided fuel, food, and rest for travelers exploring America's expanding network of roads and highways. This image shows prisoners performing manual labor while wearing striped uniforms commonly associated with early 20th century prisons. Convict labor was often used for farming, road construction, and public works projects. Supporters viewed it as productive work, while critics argued it was exploitative. The photograph highlights historical penal practices and changing attitudes toward prison reform and rehabilitation. This collage documents the evolution of motorcycles from primitive motorized bicycles to more advanced machines. Early motorcycles offered affordable transportation and inspired racing competitions that pushed technological innovation. Riders often faced rough roads, limited safety equipment, and mechanical challenges. These pioneering machines laid the foundation for the modern motorcycle industry, enjoyed by millions today. Several steam-powered vessels are moored along a waterfront, representing an era when rivers and harbors were vital transportation corridors. Steamboats moved passengers, cargo, and raw materials between growing cities and industrial centers. Before highways and aviation became dominant, water transportation played a crucial role in economic development and regional trade throughout America. A rider appears to be controlling or training a spirited horse on a ranch. Horse training was an essential skill in rural America, particularly in cattle ranching communities. Cowboys relied on well-trained horses for transportation, herding livestock, and daily work. This photograph captures the strong partnership between humans and horses in agricultural life. Bundled in heavy clothing, explorers stand on an icy landscape holding national flags. The image likely commemorates an expedition to the Arctic or Antarctic during the age of polar exploration. Such journeys were dangerous and required extraordinary endurance. Explorers faced extreme cold, isolation, and uncertain conditions while expanding scientific knowledge of Earth's most remote regions. Passengers enjoy a meal inside an elegant railroad dining car. Long-distance train travel was once one of the most comfortable and prestigious ways to cross America. Dining cars offered high-quality meals and attentive service while travelers admired the passing scenery. This photograph reflects the sophistication and romance associated with rail travel during its golden age. This wide boulevard, lined with palm trees and vintage automobiles, reflects the growth of coastal resort cities during the mid-20th century. Improved roads and increased car ownership encouraged tourism and residential development. The scene conveys prosperity, warm weather, and modern urban planning, helping explain why many Americans were drawn to coastal communities. Rows of pinball machines attract crowds of players and spectators in a lively arcade environment. Before video games became popular, pinball was one of the most beloved forms of entertainment. Arcades served as social gathering places where people competed for high scores and prizes. The photograph captures a vibrant moment in American leisure culture. An experienced craftsman carefully inspects and repairs a delicate mechanical device at his workbench. Surrounded by specialized tools, he demonstrates the skill and patience required in traditional manufacturing and repair trades. Before disposable consumer goods became common, many products were built to last and could be maintained by highly trained artisans and technicians. Back in the early 1900s, bowling wasn't just a game, it was a major social event. In this vintage scene, women dressed in long skirts compete on indoor lanes, showing how the sport was already breaking social barriers. Long before modern entertainment centers, bowling alleys were gathering places where communities came together for fun, competition, and connection. Before railroads connected America, stagecoaches were the lifeline of the frontier. This dramatic scene shows a horse-drawn coach preparing for another long journey across rough and often dangerous terrain. Carrying passengers, mail, and valuable goods, these coaches helped link distant towns and played a vital role in America's westward expansion. Nothing says fall in America quite like a pumpkin festival. Here, giant pumpkins fill the streets as families gather to celebrate the harvest season. Events like these bring together local communities with food, games, and friendly competitions. It's a tradition that reflects America's deep agricultural roots and love for seasonal celebrations. This historic soda fountain captures a familiar scene from mid-20th century America. Young workers served ice cream, milkshakes, and soft drinks in neighborhood diners that became popular social hubs. Long before smartphones and social media, places like this were where friends met, families gathered, and communities built lasting connections over simple treats. This remarkable photograph shows members of the U.S. Coast Guard transporting a lifeboat across land using horsepower. Before modern rescue vehicles, crews relied on determination, teamwork, and simple equipment to respond to maritime emergencies. In harsh weather and difficult conditions, these brave men stood ready to save lives along America's coastlines. Back in the late 1800s, traveling medicine shows rolled into small towns, promising miracle cures for every illness imaginable. Colorful performers entertained crowds with music and comedy before selling bottles of so-called magic tonics. Many of these remedies had little medical value, but clever marketing and showmanship turned them into one of America's most fascinating scams. This enormous maze of cattle pens reveals the heart of America's booming livestock industry. Thousands of animals were gathered, sorted, and traded before being shipped across the country. The scene captures the incredible scale of the meat business, where railroads, ranchers, and workers came together to feed a rapidly growing nation. In Amish communities, building a barn isn't just construction, it's a community celebration. Dozens of neighbors work side by side, raising the entire wooden frame in a single day using teamwork instead of modern machinery. This tradition reflects values of cooperation, faith, and mutual support that have been passed down for generations. This bustling city street offers a glimpse into everyday life in early America, where horse-drawn carriages shared crowded roads with pedestrians dressed in elegant fashion. Long before traffic lights and automobiles took over, these lively streets were powered by horses, commerce, and constant movement, creating the heartbeat of growing urban centers. Long before COVID-19, face masks were already being used during deadly disease outbreaks like the 1918 influenza pandemic. Public health officials encouraged citizens to cover their faces to slow the spread of infection. This historic image reminds us that protective measures and community responsibility have played an important role in fighting epidemics for over a century. Back in the early days of America, Coca-Cola delivery looked a lot different. This vintage truck, loaded with crates and workers, captures a time when products were moved by hand and communities relied on local bottling plants. It's a fascinating glimpse into how one of the world's biggest brands began its journey across small-town America. This historic scene shows uniformed workers standing with their luggage, representing an era when travel and public transportation played a huge role in daily life. Their formal appearance reflects the pride and professionalism that defined American workers during the early 20th century. Inside this busy factory, workers carefully crafted products by hand long before automation took over. Every station required skill, patience, and teamwork. Images like this remind us how America's industrial growth was built by hard-working men and women who kept production moving day after day. This elegant lobby scene captures the style and charm of a bygone era. Dressed in matching uniforms, these women welcomed travelers and guests with professionalism and grace. It's a snapshot of how customer service and hospitality helped shape America's growing travel industry. Here we see a young newspaper boy standing outside a local shop with vintage soda advertisements in the background. In those days, delivering newspapers was a common job for kids looking to earn extra money. It's a simple image that perfectly reflects everyday life in old America. This crowded marketplace was once the center of commerce and trade. People gathered here to buy, sell, and negotiate goods, creating the foundation of local economies. Long before online shopping, places like these brought communities together and fueled business across the country. This group photo celebrates the workers who helped maintain one of America's iconic cable cars. Their teamwork and dedication kept public transportation running smoothly for countless passengers. It's a reminder that behind every famous landmark, there are hard-working people making it all possible. Before modern machinery, massive logs were transported through rivers by skilled workers who balanced on floating timber. It was dangerous and physically demanding work, but it played a major role in building America's growing industries and supplying materials to expanding cities. Long before smartphones and digital networks, telephone operators connected calls manually using switchboards. These women performed an essential job that kept families and businesses connected. Their work laid the foundation for the communication systems we rely on every single day. Before refrigerators became common, people harvested huge blocks of ice during the winter months. Using horses and simple tools, workers cut and transported ice to preserve food throughout the year. It was hard labor, but an essential part of everyday life in early America. If these images touched your heart, please subscribe and join us on this journey through the past.